Hello and welcome to Shell Point Today for Monday, April 18th. I'm Dan Filgreen. On today's show, we'll learn about the upcoming art show from Beth Crenshaw as she visits with two of the Art Studio's members down in the Creativity Tunnel. And Heather Battey will visit with Shelly Rogerson from Beltone Hearing to talk about a hearing aid presentation coming up this week. But first, we want to remind you one last time about this year's Shell Point Variety Show. The theme is Bright Lights, Big City.
Mama, don't worry, I'm gonna be just fine. I'm just going to New York City, that's it.
Make sure you call me and your father with the first payphone you see, okay?
I'll call you from the first payphone I see. Don't
okay,
worry.
Make sure you watch out for potholes and for pickpocketers. It's
Bye,
very
Mama.
dangerous.
Bye, Papa.
Just make sure you wear appropriate clothing and just make sure you're safe. See the rest of Dakota's story at the Variety Show on Tuesday, April 19th at the Village Church. She might meet a few characters, so make sure you're there. See ya.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
Do you have a stack of old documents, junk mail, or personal info that you'd like to dispose of but don't feel safe just tossing them in the wastebasket? Well, Finemark Bank is holding a shred event this Thursday from 9 to 10:30. It's in front of the Village Church, and you can bring those papers and have them disposed of properly while keeping your privacy intact. For more information, stop by Finemark Bank on the island or give them a call at 461-5999. Also, this Thursday, there will be an outing to the Echo Farm in North Fort Myers. Their purpose for 32 years has been to help those who are teaching farmers around the world how to be more effective in producing enough food to meet the needs of their families and their communities. They in turn teach others, and the echo effect continues. Come learn more about this fascinating place in a guided walking tour of the most creative farm you will ever experience. You'll see demonstrations, plants, and techniques useful to farmers and urban gardeners in developing countries. The cost of the trip is $17.50 with lunch on your own, which will be at Applebee's. Court pickups begin on the island at 8:15, so make sure you've signed up. You're invited to stop by the art show that will be held in the Social Center April 29th and 30th. To learn more about the show and some of the artwork you'll expect to see there, volunteer coordinator Beth Crenshaw paid a visit to the president and vice president of the art studio recently. Suzanne, Bennett, and Sharon Terestenyi told Beth about the studio there in the Creativity Tunnel and the art show coming up.
Hi, my name is Beth Crenshaw. I'm the volunteer coordinator at Shell Point. Today I am joined with two of the Shell Point Art Studio members. I have got Suzanne Bennett, the president of the art studio.
Hi.
And Sharon Terestenyi, vice president
Hello.
of the art studio. Today we're going to discuss the upcoming art show on April 29th and 30th. Before we do that, Suzanne, can you tell us a little bit about the art studio, its members, and a little bit about the history?
Sure. The art studio has been here at Shell Point since about 1990. We're one of the oldest groups here on Shell Point, and I think we've been in this room, in this art studio here in the tunnel, since about 2000. We have about 60 members. We meet every quarter. We have quarterly art shows, one of which is up here on the wall behind me. We have classes in here. We have a variety of classes. We have a watercolor painting group that meets with Phil Hilton on Wednesdays. And we have a painting class on Tuesday afternoon with Mary Klunk, who is a local Fort Myers painter. And then we have a variety of special events. We have a watercolor workshop with Neil Glasser coming up this month. And we have social painting on Saturdays, and we have sort of a smorgasbord.
It sounds like you have a lot to offer your members here.
Yeah, we like to keep it lively.
Right. And so now this upcoming show that's happening on the 29th and 30th of this month, Sharon, do you want to share some details about that, where it's taking place, the time that it's going to be open to visitors?
Okay. Yes, it's going to be open on Friday and Saturday, the 29th and 30th. It will be open for viewing 10 to 3, and it will be at the Social Center this year.
Okay.
So there'll be loads of paintings. These are just a small sample for our show, but there are others, so many painters will be there, and we're really looking forward to seeing the new artwork that many of them have created.
And that was one of my questions. What types of art can people expect to see at the show?
Well, we have mostly paintings, drawings, collage, and woodcuts, and a variety of flat pieces of art, more or less. The artwork will not be for sale. This is an exhibition.
Okay.
And each exhibitor will have, their paintings will be exhibited together as a unit. So you'll get to know each one of them.
Okay.
And there'll be a little biography about each painter. And we're going to have a People's Choice contest, so when you come you can vote.
Okay.
And this is the one I like best, and maybe even a second choice, People's Choice.
Suzanne, it looks like you've got a few pictures here. Can you tell us a little bit more about each of these that you have out for us today?
Sure, I'd love to. These are 3 paintings that are going to be in the exhibition. This is a watercolor painted by Phil Hilton. Phil is a watercolor teacher. He's a member of the Florida Watercolor Society. This is adorable. He told me that this was sort of reminiscent of his youth. He felt that was what you might see in the 1940s. This little girl has kind of a 1940s child's outfit on. She's playing the banjo. And this is kind of a scruffy dog, and there's singing together. And I think it's a very sweet, light-hearted painting that I enjoy very much. This is a rhinoceros, and it was painted by Linda Gardell. Linda is one of our new members in the last couple of years. Linda is very imaginative. This rhinoceros is pretty threatening looking. He looks like somebody who used to be my boss. Oh, no, I can't say that. It's a very cute, appealing painting. I'd love to have this in my apartment. I think it's very nice. This is a Betsy Conrad watercolor. Betsy is new to Shell Point. She came here from Tucson, Arizona. And this is a scene of a pond in Tucson called Agua Caliente. Betsy's painting is very light, sort of masterful watercolor technique with a lot of transparent colors and a lot of ease about it and confidence. Anyhow, I wanted to share that.
Now, for the viewers that are out there right now that are still interested in entering, is that possible, and how do they do that?
Well, the entry blanks are available at the 2 service desks, the one on the island and the one in the Woodlands. And we have set a deadline of the 19th of April to enter. But if you're after the 19th and you call me, maybe we can, make room for one more.
Squeeze somebody in at the
them,
last minute.
No, but we really would welcome new people. If you haven't been in our show, we'd love to have you.
Wonderful. Now, what about joining the art studio itself? How does someone become a member of the art studio if we've got maybe some new residents out there that are watching and are interested in learning more about the art studio or want to become members?
Sure,
how does that happen?
Sure. What we ask is that usually they call me, and I make an appointment with them to meet here, and we kind of do an orientation because we have a lot of different things in this studio. We have a library, we have an image library, we have mat cutting, we have a lot of tools, and I like to kind of give a little rundown, but it costs $5 a year.
Okay.
Woohoo! And we have, the door is locked, every member gets a key, and some members, we have lockers back there where they can store their art supplies and things for the classes.
Great. Well, ladies, it sounds like it's going to be a really neat art exhibit. I'm excited to see it myself. So again, it is on Friday and Saturday, April 29th and 30th, and visitors are welcome between the hours of 10 and 3 o'clock.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we hope that you can attend the art show this month. We'll see you there.
Shelly Rogerson from Beltone Hearing is holding a presentation this week on strategies to improve communication and understanding hearing loss. She'll discuss steps to take if you've had hearing loss and tips to improve hearing with hearing aids. Heather Battey of Resort Services speaks with Shelly now to learn more.
Hi, I'm Heather Battey with Resort Services.
Today I have here with me Shelly Rogerson from Beltone Hearing. We're going to be talking about her new program in Health Connection called Hear and Be Heard. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How about yourself?
Great.
Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
So you're going to be doing another hearing aid presentation for us called Hear and Be Heard.
Right.
So can you tell me a little bit about this program that you're going to be doing, this presentation?
Well, we're going to talk about what people should do if they think or suspect that they have a hearing loss, some of the steps that they should take to get good information and make great decisions and have better opportunities for success. And then if they do have hearing aids, we'll discuss some of the tips that they can use in more of the challenging listening situations, like a very big room or restaurant or places where there's a lot of background noise. And also if you live with someone that has hearing loss, some of the communication strategies that you can use to have better, less stress at home talking to somebody that has a hearing aid.
Right, because it's not just about putting a hearing aid in and then all of a sudden you're going to be able to hear better. There's a lot of different things that are involved.
Right, and a lot of people have a different, levels of potential of understanding with a hearing aid. So some people might get 99% with a hearing aid, and then there's some people that might get 70%, so they still need some other tips and things to improve their ability to hear in difficult situations.
Right. Would those things kind of be, making sure you're looking at someone, reading kind of their lips or their body language? Or
Yeah, getting their attention first, before you start to talk, facing the person, things like that. And then there's strategies you can use in, crowded places and things to sit better or find certain seating or things that you can do to, improve the ability to understand in some situations.
Right. Now, I know I hear sometimes people say, well, I've already have a hearing aid or I've already been to a hearing aid presentation. What is something that you can key into kind of to encourage people to continue to come to these presentations even though they already have a hearing aid or have been to one of them?
Well, some of the things you might learn is some of the things you might be able to take back to your hearing aid specialist, tips that you might be able to get to take back and improve the way you're hearing with the hearing aid that you already have. Mm-hmm. So you might find out some things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing or some things you should be doing, like having your hearing aid checked every few months and having your hearing retested annually and reprogram your hearing aid so you're not waiting 3 or 4 years until you don't hear again before you do anything with the one hearing aid that you do have.
Sure, because it really does affect the quality of life when you're not being able to hear full conversations or different tones. I'm understanding that you have different tones people hear differently.
Right, most people have like a high frequency hearing loss, so they hear, but they don't quite understand the words, so they might get, hear you plainly, but not quite clearly of what you said, like the difference between like pin or thin or sin, be able to, differentiate the specific words that you're saying.
Right, by keying into those different sounds.
And then they might say, well, then you repeat yourself and you talk louder, and then they say, now you're yelling at me. So it kind of creates a lot of tension if they're not understanding that they can hear but not quite understand the words.
Yeah. What are some of the first signs that people see that maybe their hearing is going? Is it
sometimes people telling you that, you have to make them repeat themselves, or trouble hearing like in a background noise situation, maybe trouble on watching TV, or people tell you play your TV too loud, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Is that whole, I guess it's a myth that if you listen to the headphones too loud, you're going to lose your hearing, or if you listen to your stereo too loud in your car, are those things true?
Yeah, loud noises can definitely affect your hearing, and sometimes it's noises that we did years ago in our youth. Sure. That or people exposed to noise at work, things like that, can affect your hearing later in life.
Mm-hmm. I remember my parents growing up saying, oh, you're going to lose your hearing by listening to that so loud.
And you feel like you're nothing, you're young and nothing can ever happen to you.
Right,
then.
exactly.
You pay for it later.
So this is called Hear and Be Heard. This program is going to be on Wednesday, April 20th at 1 o'clock in the Oak Room. Make sure you sign up at either service desk and join us there for this interesting presentation in the Health Connection. Thank you, and stay happy and healthy.
And now it's time to take a look at today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections, right after this Listening to the Words preview from David Hauenstein.
Save Our Planet is the theme of Listening to the Words all 7 days this week of Earth Day. If you tune in, you'll hear an Arbor Day tribute from who better than Shell Point landscape manager Steve Martin. You can listen to a deep appreciation of the night sky by a woman and her dog. News press writer Amy Williams describes the fragrance that puts orange blossoms to shame. You'll be captivated by the dramatic reading of Joan Marshall of an ode to a summer evening in France. Hearing all that and a lot more will move you to feel honored and responsible to be an inhabitant of this planet of ours. All this, and it's the most available half-hour radio show ever there was, with the exception of 3 replays of the Village Church service each Tuesday and Thursday. Listening to the Words airs on Shell Point's Channel 12 every half hour, 24 hours each day of the week. And those who can't access it that way can listen anytime at my Shell Point webpage at www.shellpoint.net/listening by clicking on the program at the top of the list in the left column. And thank you for listening to the Words.
Hello and welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Katelyn Van Scoy.
And I'm Bev Chandley.
We're going to give you all of Monday's activities. We start at 8 o'clock with men's match play tennis at the Woodlands. And that is followed by virtual bowling in the Resident Activity Center at 8:45. Billiards will be played in the Resident Activity Center at 9:15. Also at 9:15, the Lollygaggers Paddlers will be heading out for their weekly outing from the kayak storage. Pottery with instruction available will be in the Pottery Studio at 9:15. Then we move to 10 o'clock for men's match play tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. The Suzy Q heads to Matanzas on the Bay, leaving at 10 o'clock. That is sign-up required. At 10:30, the Disciple Men's Bible Study Group will be meeting in the game room of the Woodlands. And at 10:45, we have table tennis playing clinic in the Island Tunnel. Our last morning activity is a Health Connections class at 11:30, Agility, Balance, and Flexibility. That's in the Tarpon Room. Here's Bev to tell you all about our afternoon.
Thank you, Katelyn. We're going to start out your afternoon activities with a 12 o'clock game of Mahjong. That'll be in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. And we have a Health Connections class at 12:45, Zumba Fitness. That's in the Tarpon Room, and that's currently full. And we have a Health Connections class at 1 o'clock, Health Victor. That'll be in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Samba will be played at 1:15 in the Resident Activity Center, and the tone chimes will be in the Osprey Room, also at 1:15. From 1:30 to 3:30, we have the Model Train Room open for tours. And we have a Health Connections class, Osteo Break Free, at 1:45. That'll be in the Tarpon Room, and that's currently full. The Beady-Eyed Bead Club will be in the Oak Room of the Woodlands at 2 o'clock. And we have Journey Through Grief at the Village Church Chapel at 2:45. And at 3 o'clock, we have another Health Connections class, Pilates Stretch. That's in the Tarpon Room today. And at 5 o'clock, you'll find the singles table at the Crystal Dining Room available if you're interested. Beginner Square Dancing will be in the Tarpon Room at 6:30. Also at 6:30 today, we have Duplicate Bridge. That'll be in the game room of the Woodlands. We have the Church Movie Night at 7:15 in the Social Center. And at 7:30, we have Square Dancing in the Tarpon Room. That's currently full. Well, that winds up the activities for today, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is beef lasagna with Italian green beans and garlic bread. The dinner special is Old Home Cooking Night for $13.95, and the soup of the day is cream of chicken. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a Western bacon cheeseburger with chips for $7.75. The dinner special is barbecue shrimp over citrus and almond salad for $8.75, and the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Jerry Palmquist. And Jerry, we're here to talk about a movie of all things.
Very good.
That's right.
Very good.
In fact, the Village Church has been sponsoring in the last number of months a movie that has a particular connection, I think, with our people, our values, the things that would be consistent with the Christian faith, that kind of thing. But not necessarily explicitly Christian films, but some of them have been. We try to do about one a month most of the time. And it's interesting that the library is the part of the Village Church that actually got this started, because they have a video library, don't they?
That's right. Yeah. Well, it was kind of interesting. I met a few people who didn't even realize we had a library in the church located in the back of the auditorium.
Right.
And so we thought, well, people ought to realize we have over 4,500 books in there and over 400 CDs and DVDs. And one way to get this known is to show some of these on the ShellPoint TV.
And I bet not everybody has read all 4,500 books.
Probably not, but there's some who've read an awful lot of them.
There probably have been. But I don't think people are aware that there are DVDs that can be checked out of there.
That's right.
But I think the idea was that, well, certainly, people can look at a DVD in their home, but what much more fun it is, and I think encouraging it is, to watch it with a group on a large screen together, and that's what's going to happen in the event that's coming up. Tell us about when that's happening and where it's happening.
This is happening on April 18th on Monday evening at 7 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And as usual, we have the popcorn and soda to make everybody happy. It's free.
Of course.
And it's a good time to enjoy each other. But the movie, The Note, is going to be shown that night.
That's right. Tell us about The Note. That's the movie we're going to see this
The Note is it's an inspirational film to watch. It is based on a novel written by Angela Hunt, who a lot of people have already read the book. Mm-hmm. But it's a story of a newspaper columnist who discovered a note that was written by a person who was killed in an airplane crash. And she takes it upon herself to see if she can find that person, to at least let them know that the note was written to them.
Yeah, the note, not the person who died, but the person to whom the note was written.
Right, who they were writing it to.
Right, yeah.
And to see if she could help them. But the interesting thing is, after she discovers who the person was that the note was written to, she realizes that she was helped the most.
Interesting.
And so it's a real interesting film to watch. Mm-hmm. And to see what takes place.
So there's sort of layers of meaning in this kind of film, aren't there? Because you have the idea of what kind of message would you like to leave to someone? That's part of it. Right. And then what impact would that have on the person to whom you're writing? And then, of course, the journey that this woman takes to try to find this person has its own set of layer of meaning, that's what gives the inspiration for it.
It was a real help to her. It made a difference in her life.
That's right.
So those things are, it's very interesting to watch it.
Yeah, and I understand this is one of the most popular of all of the films that have been shown on the Hallmark Network.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, well, after you see it, you could understand why.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think we had a whole bunch of people there the last couple of times we've had. It's been a great group to connect, and I think they'll love to see this film as well.
Had to get there to get a seat early enough. Yeah, right. That's at the Social Center.
That's right.
Monday evening, April the 18th.
Okay, that sounds great.
Good.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Jerry, and we hope all of you will have an opportunity to see this film. That's, again, Monday, April 18th in the Social Center, 7 o'clock, and we'll look forward to seeing you there.
And that's going to bring this ShellPoint Today program to a close for Monday, April 18th. Be sure to watch tomorrow when we'll get an update from the Butterfly Garden with Jane Johnston. And we'll hear about the men's breakfast sponsored by the Legacy Foundation happening next week. I'm Dan Philgreen, and on behalf of everyone here at SBTV, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again for tomorrow's program.